This video is for the writing slope intercept form foldable. To put this one together, you're going to cut on these large dash lines. Sometimes it's easier though if you fold first, so you can fold this flap over to the dotted lines. And then you can go ahead and cut your separate tabs apart. So once again, this video is for the writing slope intercept form foldable. First, we're going to write the linear equation of a line from a graph. So when we write an equation in slope intercept form for a graph, we got to find the slope and the y-intercept. So to find the slope, we can pick 2 points and we can do rise over run. So here I went up 1, 2, 3. That would be my numerator of a fraction. And then I went over 1, 2. And that would be my denominator of the fraction. We can simplify these down. We're just going to leave it as 3/2 in this case. The y-intercept is where this line crosses the y-axis, and we can see that point clearly marked up here at 8. So 8 is our y-intercept. And once we have those two pieces, we can put them together. Slope-intercept form always starts with y equals. Then we use our slope, 3/2, then the x, and then plus or minus our y-intercept. We can also do this from a table. If we do it from a table, we can do it by hand or we can use a calculator to do it. So on this first one, I'm going to show you the steps for doing it on a TI-84 calculator. So in your calculator, you're going to go to Stat and 1, and then in List 1, you're going to put all your x values. So I have -15, I have -10, I have -5, 5, and 15. Then in List 2, you're going to put your y values. So 15, 9, 3, -9, and then 21. I have a feeling that should be maybe a -21. I'm sorry, guys. Let me check really quick. Once you get your numbers in, you're going to do Stat over to Calc, and then 4, and then you're going to hit Enter all the way down to Calculate. Yes, I'm sorry, guys. This number here should be a -21. I apologize for that mistake. So let's try that again. So once we get our numbers in our list, Stat, right arrow key to Calc, press 4 for linear regression, and then you're going to hit Enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And so what I got here was a decimal. And so it's going to give you decimal form, -1.2. So A is your slope, B is your y-intercept. And so when you're using a TI-84, it even kind of gives you the template. Now, if you need this in fraction form, you can always type the fraction in and do alpha y4, and it will change it to a fraction, in this case an improper fraction. Once you have your slope and y-intercept, y equals, slope comes first, then the x, and then plus or minus your y-intercept. So on the next example, I'm going to do it by hand. I'm going to find the slope by hand and find the y-intercept by hand. So to find slope from a table by hand, you're going to pick 2 ordered pairs. And so as long as they're partnered up, it doesn't matter which 2 you pick. I'm going to go with the positive numbers down here at this end. So I'm going to use 2, 7, and then 4, 15. So to find slope by hand, you use the slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So my y's, 15 and 7, so I would do 15 minus 7. X's are 4 and 2. And so 15 minus 7 is 8. 4 minus 2 is 2. And if I simplify, 8 over 2 simplifies to 4. To find the y-intercept by hand, we're going to use slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. And I'm going to pick an ordered pair, so I'm just going to use that orange pair that I have there. Those I'm going to fill in for the x and the y here. And then I'm going to plug my slope in for the m. So my y is 7. My slope is 4. My x value is 2, and then I'm going to create an equation, and I'm going to solve for b. So I've got 7, 4 times 2 is 8, plus b. So to get b by itself, I would subtract 8 from both sides. This cancels. 7 minus 8 is a -1, and that equals b, my y-intercept. So my equation would be y equals 4x minus 1. And then we can also use ordered pairs. So ordered pairs are really similar to how you do it from a table. So the first example I'm going to do from the calculator again. So I'm going to go to stat 1, and I need to make sure that my lists are completely cleared out. So in list 1, I put my x's. So my x's are -4 and +4. -4, +4. And then my y's are 8 and 2. And then we do stat over to calc, 4, and then hit enter 5 times. And it gives me my pieces. So again, A is your slope, B is your y-intercept. It gives me a decimal. Again, if you need a fraction, you can convert it. -75 hundredths is -3/4, and my y-intercept is 5. So my equation would be y equals -3/4 x plus 5. And so for our second example, I'm going to do it by hand again. So we're going to use the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to find the slope. So my y's here are 6 and 3, so I could do 3 minus 6. And then my x's are -8 minus -14. Okay, so 3 minus 6 is a -3, and then -8 minus a -14 gives me a +6. -3 over 6 simplifies to -1/2. Then I'm going to plug values into slope-intercept form. So I'm going to use the second ordered pair. So my y is 3, my slope is -1/2, my x is -8, and then plus b. So 3 equals, so -1/2 times -8 gives me a +4. To get b by itself, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. The 4's cancel. 3 minus 4 is a -1, and that equals b. So my slope is -1/2. My y-intercept is -1, and my equation would be y equals -1/2 x minus 1.